Hey everybody! Welcome to another edition of Just the Tip Tuesday, and today we're talking about transformation and how to transform your life, not just in the bedroom, but also in the boardroom. We're talking with Garrain Jones, author, present father, multi-business entrepreneur who went from nothing to something. So we're going to talk to him today. I want to welcome all of you. Thank you for coming back to another Just the Tip Tuesday. I'm your girl, Michelle Hope. So I have decided that every Tuesday we are going to start off with something I used to do in the classroom that I miss oh so much, called Sex in the News. Okay, so that's where I examine the news and where sexuality shows up. And this week I thought it would be important for us to discuss Amy Cooper and white fragility. So if you have not been on the internet or you have not watched the news, there is thank you so much, Nissy, sorry, I'm probably saying that wrong, for liking my dress. If you haven't been watching the news, hey Andre, white woman in the park at Central Park is approached by an African-American man who is an avid birder. A birder is a bird watcher in Bramble Park, which is an area that is known for people to watch birds. White woman chooses to call the police and says that she is being accosted and or threatened by a black man. He records the video and all hell breaks loose. It goes viral, and quite frankly, if you're wondering, how does this apply to sexuality? Well, listen, for a long time in the United States, white women have been able to utilize their femininity in a way that women of color have not. And in a statement Amy Cooper made to the news, she said that she felt as though police are there to protect, a protection agency. Well, that is not the case for most people of color. And in light of this newfound realization, or wokeness, as I'd like to refer to it as, after the Twitter destroyed her, she's decided to say that she apologized and now understands how some people do not feel protected by the police. Well, again, interestingly enough, if you joined us on Friday, we spoke to Seton Smith about interracial dating and kind of what it's like being a black man dating a white woman. I would love to have had a conversation with Seton about this very topic, but today we have, like I said, Garrain Jones, who is a entrepreneur, a wellness entrepreneur who has been able to change the lives of so many. And he was able to do this by changing his own life. And his motto is change your mindset, change your life, which is a book that just came out that you can get on Amazon Books. We're going to welcome him momentarily, but where are people joining me from? I'd like to do a roll call, so just let me know what state you're in. If you're in another country, thank you for joining. And please let me know where you're at. Another beautiful day here in New York, but sadly, outside is still not open. So we will move forward and we'll think about what is the transformation I can make while I am hunkered down at home. I see somebody is in here from New York. I love that because we are standing in solidarity together. St. Louis, Missouri. Thank you so much for tuning in and checking us out. New York, I love it when my home folk are here. Central California, I love that. So here we are. If you're just hopping on, welcome to Just the Tip Tuesdays. I'm your girl, Michelle Hope. And this is where we look at sex, race, love, money, how to make our lives all that we want them to be. And like I said, Garrain Jones is joining us, and I'm going to bring him in now. Oh, I did it again. No, I put on a filter. Here we go. I'm so bad at this tech stuff. I'm still learning. Boom. Garrain, are you with us? This is a lousy Louisiana in the house. What up, shawty? Hey.
You did it.
How are you?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for hopping on with me.
I was trying to figure out your sound sounded far away It was coming through my headphones. Hold on one second. All right, now we're here.
Welcome. How are you today?
I am so fabulous. I woke up this morning, had all my limbs, can breathe, kiss my wife, like I'm alive. Everything. It's a reason to be grateful. So I'm great.
Absolutely. Before I hopped on with you, I was listening to my grateful gratitude music, which I do quite frequently, just to kind of get in the headspace. You know, transformation, right? And that is what you are about, and really helping people transform their lives. Is what you're known for. I've known you for what, almost 20 years now.
Yep.
And I've had the pleasure and the honor of seeing you transform your life. And I wanted to invite you on because you were watching on Friday when we talked about interracial dating, right?
Yeah.
Your wife is Caucasian.
Yeah.
And I often have said to you, I love your wedding pictures. You look so in love. You look so happy. And I know you wanted to chime in a little bit about the conversation we had about Black men dating white women and what that experience has been for you. So I want to give you a moment to be able to say what you didn't get to say. If you have not seen the Seton Smith interview, it is on the YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe. But dating white women, is it any different? Is it a part of the transformation? Did you elevate your life and find that this person was on the same frequency? Can you talk to me about that?
Yeah. I honestly never saw myself with anybody long term, period. And
Right.
I've dated every race, religion, and no woman that I've ever been with, I ever see, like I could see my future. It was like right now we're doing whatever we're doing. And then I remember maybe 3 years ago, I wrote down there was a book called When God Winks, and there was a thing on soulmates. And then
Mm-hmm.
any book on relationships or anything, I will always skip it because I have the ability that when I think about something long enough, it'll literally come to my life. So I remember saying to myself, I'm going to write this down. I'm going to be very specific. The kind of person that I want in my life, I'm going to be super specific. No daddy issues. She makes her own money. She loves to read. She loves personal growth, beautiful inside and out. She's healthy, mind, body, and soul, God-centered. I didn't put any kind of color or anything. I just put all 62 of these things, how I wanted to feel how I wanted to
62.
feel, 62 attributes.
Wow.
Because they said be specific. I was specific with my house when I was living in my car and I was broke, homeless,
Right.
and then I manifested the house. So if I could manifest my entire life, what would happen if I was just as clear and just as specific with the kind of person that I wanted? So as I went through that, I'm like, this person doesn't exist. And I also wrote down how I wanted to feel in the relationship and
Mm.
the top 5 places that I haven't gone that I would actually meet her. The number 1 place was a personal development seminar. So
Wow.
if I'm seeking growth, maybe I might
Yeah.
want to go to a place where other people are seeking growth.
Wow.
So nothing in there was like about color or anything like that. It was, these are the attributes that I want, period.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 years goes by. By the way, I wasn't half of those things. And if you try to punch above your weight class, you end up losing that person. You'll end up losing the job. You'll end up losing the money.
Yes.
But I wasn't half of those things that I wrote down. Here's the tricky thing. In those 3 years, the last 15 years, I didn't have a relationship with my daughter.
Mm.
Somehow or another, my daughter and the opportunity for me to handle my business and be responsible, she was the only woman that I would ever let into my life like that. I never even let my mom into that close.
Right.
I would always push people away if they got too close.
Right.
My daughter, she wouldn't accept anything less than anything that I've shown her. So I had to show her a new standard.
Wow.
And I went from from being this weak little person, strong for everyone else, but weak little person is, I hope she sees that I changed. I hope. And I went from that person to, I am the most powerful representation of who she will marry one day.
Wow. Wow.
So when I shifted and opened up my heart in a way that I never let any woman in.
Right.
And proved that I deserved to be with that caliber of a woman, because it was being cultivated with my daughter. Only then meet my wife. In my car, being $300,000 in debt, try to kill myself twice, the lowest of the low.
Right.
And I know exactly how I got to owning 3 different businesses, 7-figure incomes, all retiring my mom. I know when God is speaking in my life. God doesn't speak in color. God doesn't speak in barriers. God doesn't speak in, you know what, I'm going to give my love here, not here, here, not here. God speaks in love, period. So when I know patterns of my life after I make a declaration or after I set goals and they look just like how God is always speaking to me, I don't question it, because I'm not going to question when divine timing is coming into my life. That's how I got to where I got to. So when that's the exact same pattern, when I handled my business and became the person who deserved to have a powerful woman in my life, that's when I met my mirror. So it wasn't about the color. It was about, I know God is speaking because she doesn't look like anybody who I would ever have seen myself with. However, we got the exact same past. Our stories are almost identical, and we relate to each other, and we don't even have to think about it. It was just one of those things that you clearly know, oh wow, this is what I asked for.
Right, right. You know, I think, first of all, we can just turn off the cameras now because you just dropped all the gems. But I want to back up to help people understand what your story is, because your story is a rich one. You grew up in the 3rd Ward in Texas. At the age of 12, your father was brutally murdered, and you kind of lived a haphazard life up until the point where poor decision making or just life itself, and we're going to get to the can it get worse perspective, because I know you talk about this idea of mindset. It got to a point where you ended up in a Paris penitentiary for smuggling narcotics across the border, and you spent 2+ years in
2.5 years.
2.5 years to now said 7 figures. You are a wellness aficionado and a to so many, a wellness entrepreneur. So I'm really curious about 2011, summer 2011, when everything changed in Los Angeles. I believe you were on La Brea, and you had this talk about come to Jesus moment. After all this searching for life and this lifestyle you thought you wanted, can you talk to me about when the rock bottom happened and how you started this journey on to where you are today?
So my life is so crazy, because even during this pandemic right now, somebody said to me, they're like, man, it's easy for you to say you have money. It's like, you don't know what it's like to not have money. I was like, bro, my whole life has been a freaking quarantine. Like, I've been like prison inside of my body for my whole life. So in 2011, it was when everything just kept piling on and piling on and piling on. And what I mean is, anybody who lives in Los Angeles, they know that there is a struggle if you actually want to. You know, there's a lot of people in the entertainment industry, they give up things. Some men give up their manhood. Some women, they just like sleep their way to the top. But if you want to do it the way where none of that is happening, a lot of times, especially if you have no team, you have a very difficult time.
Who are you talking to?
Yeah.
You know, I know it.
So just coming from the music industry, I used to go by my middle name, Steph Jones. So coming from the music industry and just sick and tired of just being effed over by so many people and just writing songs for people, being in the room for not like top selling artists, and then them not giving me credit, and then the song going #1 while I'm living in my car, knowing that it's my song. So I went through that process. And then at that point, I just had enough. I was like, I'm tired of people, F the music industry, F music, F everybody. I'm just tired. The only thing I have is my car. So I was living in my car, sleeping
Which is
around.
normal
Just
in
going,
LA. A lot of people are living in their cars in LA.
a lot of people are living like that right now.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so I went through going from couch to couch to couch to girl's house to couch to couch to couch for a total of probably 12 years. And then it just hit the rock bottom during 2009, 10, and 11 to the point where I just gave up. And it was 3:43 in the morning. I just remember yelling out, at that time I was living in my car for 2.5 years, and I just yelled. I said, okay, I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of, I can't take anymore. I want to be healthy. I want to be happy. I want to be surrounded by nothing but positive people. I just want to inspire people. And I want to make a bunch of money, but I want the money to represent something that I passionately believe in, that I would do for free. Just show me a sign. That was only 8.5 years ago. Mind you, I had a publishing deal. I was signed to Ludacris. People like, man, I'm trying to get like you, but deep down inside, I'm like, man, you don't know, I'm dying right now. I'm dying right now.
Absolutely.
A week later, I'm at the gas station, and a homeless guy walks up to me and says, asking me for money. I say, you have more money than me. And he said, change your mindset, change your life.
Change your mindset, change your life. Wow.
And in that moment, every thought, it was like when you see that movie Sixth Sense and he sees his whole life flash before his eyes. When I heard change your mindset, change your life, I'm like, change your mind. So if my mind is set on something, then that's why the result is what it is. So if I do different with the same circumstance, then my life will change. Well, it's difficult to change when you've been domesticated a certain way. You can't just, okay, I've been speaking English my whole life. I'm going to unlearn English and just start speaking this language. The only way to speak that other language, you got to immerse yourself in that language.
Right.
So I didn't even know that I started immersing myself into different fragments of change by simply, normally I take the escalators, change your mindset, change your life. So I'm going to take the stairs. Normally I use gel soap, change your mindset, change your life. So I'm going to use bar soap. Normally I sleep till noon, change your mindset, change your life. So I'm going to start waking up early. I come from Texas. Always fatty, fried, freaking Salisbury steak for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, all these different things. Normally that's all I ever ate. So what would it look like if I actually started putting my attention on health? And so all of those changes, normally I would go out and party to go see which girl I can snag every single night. That was so change your mindset, change your life. Well, let me see what it's like if I go to this free personal development seminar instead. You see what I'm saying? So my life, 8.5 years, from everything I wouldn't normally do. I didn't have the money. I didn't have the resources, but I had the energy and the ability to do the opposite. And for some reason, every time I put my faith in the opposite, it was almost like God says, now let me show you what I can do. You've seen what you can do on yourself. Now let me show you what I can do when you put your faith in the unknown. And that was the opposite. So I'm 8.5 years removed of all of those things. Tried to kill myself, extremely in debt, mother dying in the hospital, extremely unhealthy, had no visions and goals.
Right.
Opposite of that,
right.
My mom is rock climbing. My mom is retired. My daughter goes to NYU college, just finished her first year. I'm married. Me, I'm the guy that was still your girl. I'm in a committed marriage.
Right. And you know what's interesting? I want to kind of, I've never known you. I've known you a long time. Never known you to do drugs or overindulge in necessarily food. Maybe you would eat junk food. You don't drink. Do you think, but I'm a firm believer, everybody has a vice, especially when you have all these negative experiences, you want to put your energy in other places. You just said you were the guy that would steal somebody's girlfriend. So because of that, do you think that there was a time where you were displacing maybe hurt, maybe pain in running through women? Because you were, I mean, you could say you were kind of a player. You're very attractive. You've dated celebrities. You were always on a red carpet. And I've noticed as you were telling this story, you kept weaving in this idea of I would find another woman, I would find another woman. And we began this on how you made whole the relationship with your daughter. So do you think that there's a parallel into correcting not just the relationship with your daughter, but your relationship with women, period, in this whole transformation of change your mindset, change your life, that has to this holistic transformation of who you are as a person and how you receive love and give love?
100%. So you got to look at it like this. Everything has a point of impact. Mm-hmm. And a point of impact is kind of like an open app on your phone.
Right.
If you got 40 apps open, it slows your phone down. It starts to slow. It's all kind of crazy stuff. So if you got daddy issues and you never maybe let go of that resentment, maybe forgave him, maybe forgave yourself, and it's still going, that doesn't just go away. People say all the time, they're like, leave the past in the past. Not if you didn't get the lesson, because what will happen is your future will be a recreation of your past over and over and over and over and over. So what happens is, if you have daddy issues, if you have mama issues, what will happen is you'll keep dating your daddy in different variations, dating your mom or whoever was at the point of impact that taught you about family. How you gonna raise a family when the basis of your knowledge of family is all broken? So it's just creating. It's an open loop, and unless you close that loop, your story is not going to recreate, and your future will 100% be exactly from the point of impact of your past, because that point of impact is just like the point of impact of language. Okay, you didn't know language, and then all of a sudden, bam, point of impact, ABCs. You keep doing it over and over and over, turns into words, turns into sentences, turns into paragraphs, turns into books, turns into libraries. Now what happens? I'm not worthy. My dad left me. My dad beat me. My mom this, my mom that. All of this from childhood is like ABCs in self-worth.
Right.
And so what it'll do is that self-worth, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy of success. I'm not worthy of money. I'm not worthy to be loved, because simply you never felt loved as a child, and that'll turn into no money, no opportunities, broken opportunities, fights. All these different things are a ripple effect, and most people look at the surface, but you can't pull a weed from the top and it stopped growing. You got to pull it from the root.
From the root. Yeah. I think it's important because as a man and a man of color, right? I think it is important that you are really peeling back layers of how manhood manifests by looking at the relationships with your parents. And this is some incredibly deep work that you've done over the course of 8 years. And, you know, I'm really staying on this relationship space.
Absolutely.
Because what it sounds like to me is you really excavated this pain from your childhood experience and got right with your relationship with self and and for some, not all, because not everybody believes in a higher power or God, but a part of that relationship with yourself was tapping into your relationship with faith and then healing that. And I don't think we encourage that enough in men of color. We continue to perpetuate this. You can't have emotion, or you shouldn't explore emotion, or daddy issues or mommy issues as a man. So I think what you're saying right now is so powerful because it definitely impacts individuals' relationships with money, relationships with work, relationships with romance. And I just really want to stay in this space of these fear-based tactics that we're taught, especially as Black men. You're taught not to have emotion. You're taught not to process emotion. And it sounds like, from what I'm hearing you say, is that up until 2011, you were just going with what people told you manhood was, and to avoid these things.
And as free as you think you are, if you're living inside of other people's perspectives of how you think, they think you should live your life, you're still in prison. You're still in a jail cell. Think for yourself. And the only true freedom is the freedom to possess your own mind. And I had to learn that the hard way, which is why I wrote a book and speak all over the world to teach people and live life in such a way that people see real freedom. And then it's like, wow, man, he can wear what he wants, says what he wants, and build what he wants, and all that. Listen, and one thing I do know is when you are yourself, truly, deep down on the inside, you're not what society wants you to be. You're not what the president wants you to be. You're not what your mom or your dad or all your aunties and uncles and cousins want you to be. Truly, that little voice inside that's been telling you since you were a little kid, do this, feeding you ideas and goals and creativity your whole life. Well, a lot of times we choose to listen to everyone else but ourselves.
Right.
So that's exactly what I'm sharing with you. I had to do that work. You know, I had to, and I'm going to tell you, this is what the epiphany, I just learned from all these different things. So 5 years ago, I had a root canal, right? And my face was the size of Thanos from Avengers. No, it's crazy. I'll show you a picture. And I went to the dentist. They said, well, you got to get a root canal. I'm like, I don't know how that's possible. There's already a root canal there. They were like, you got to go see a specialist.
Okay.
So I went to go see a specialist, and the specialist said, whoever originally did your root canal didn't get it all the way to the root. Follow what I'm sharing with you. I'm about to give you the keys. I'm going to show you how to discover your own keys to the jail cell you don't even know that you're in. You can't change without awareness.
Right.
I got an original root canal 18 years ago. 5 years ago, when I had something on the exact same tooth where I had a root canal. A root canal is when they remove everything. The specialist said, whoever originally did your root canal didn't get it all the way to the root. So you have 18 years worth of infection that's just now starting to show up. So you can be in a relationship, and at the root of it, you know damn well you don't want to be in that relationship, but you stay in it because of your childhood attachment issues. And then 5 years later, the big blow up happens. He cheats, you cheat. You're like, where did it all go? You never wanted to be in the relationship anyways. You never wanted to be at that 9-to-5 job anyways at the point of contact. So anything that happens after that is out of alignment to your truest self. Right. So what I've learned is when something is happening on the surface, I'm like, where did this come from? What did I do there to attract this? Not like, what's wrong with me? Because life is not happening to you. It's responding to you, whether you're aware of it or not. So when I looked at my money issues, I was just like, yo, money's a piece of paper with preconceived value on it. So if I have money issues, and let me take it away from the money, and let me always point it to myself. What's the value that I'm not seeing in myself? Where is that? Where did it start? Okay, let me see. My mom never told me congratulations, never told me she was proud of me, never told me that I mattered, that I was important. So to a little kid, that's the same nutrients Hearing those words is the same nutrients that flowers need to grow. So when a child is not hearing those things, it's, I'm not worthy. Nobody loves me. Nobody loves me. Daddy left me. I'm abandoned. Mama left me. I'm abandoned. So that abandonment, that self-worth, all of that will play on and create a ripple effect. And just like ABCs eventually turned into libraries, look at the ABCs eventually turn into domestic abuse, alcohol, drugs. You know what? I'm just gonna move away. I'm just gonna move away. Wherever you go, you still have to take yourself with you. So you're not gonna outrun what you're creating within yourself.
Yep. I'm a big proponent of saying the first relationship starts with self, and if that's fucked up, well, everything else is gonna be fucked up as well. So I want to know, in the new book, Change Your Mindset, Change Your Life.
Bam.
I love, first of all, the cover art is phenomenal. Tell me, what are we getting in this book? Why are we buying the book? What is it going to help me do?
You know, what's crazy is I never planned on writing a book. However, I documented my journey from when I was living in my car, when I was sleeping in abandoned buildings, when I was sleeping on bubble wrap, when I earned my first $10 that was legal. You know, it's all on Facebook and Instagram. And when I saw the amount, say that again?
When you were waiting tables?
All of that. But when I saw the amount of people who reached out to me in private saying, how did you have the strength to do that? That's my life right now. And I don't know how to get out of that. When I heard your story, I put the gun down. When I heard your story, I didn't drive my car off a bridge. I get those messages every single day for the last 8.5 years. Like, surface level people ain't gonna get those informations because I become the voice of the voiceless when I come from the deepest trenches of myself and I'm vulnerable. So what happened was, when you get thousands of people saying, you should write a book, you should write a book, you should write a book, maybe that's what I prayed for, because what is my mission? To create a space for people to understand the powers that's already inside of them so they can use it and produce extraordinary results in their life. All this is exactly what the people ask for. Every single thing that I learned on the basic human principles in the last 8.5 years that took me from living in my car, wanting to kill myself, to breathing life into humanity, being a multimillionaire. And money is the least of all values. The greatest value is the fact that I earned my daughter's trust back, and I'm a present father, and I attracted my soulmate, and I retired my mom, and we're best friends. And none of those were available for. And the biggest of all is the peace of mind and the freedom that I have to simply be myself. I put it all in this book, and I put activities so that you can get on the bike yourself, because you can read a book on balance all day long, but you're not going to get balance till you get on the bike and fall down 1,000 times.
Right. So now, I mean, you are full of positivity. I have to ask, what do you do now? Because not every day is a great day.
No, not at all.
So,
I'll take that back. Every day is a great day. I have challenging moments. I have growth moments, but I will not allow an entire day to be, oh my God, I'm done with it. Nope. So what were you gonna say?
No, it's good. So when you do have those moments, those challenging moments, what could you say to people? Like, if I'm having that challenging moment, what is something I can do in that moment, or say in that moment, or what could I do to bounce out? I mean, for me, I say, this is what I do. I say, you know what? I'm sad right now, and that's okay. I can feel this, I can censor this, and I can give myself X amount of time to mourn or hold space for whatever I'm feeling. And then I say, okay, my 2 minutes, my 10 minutes, my 30-minute meditation session is over. Keep it pushing. What do you do?
So I'm a huge believer in momentum. And nothing is stuck. Everything is just in momentum or a transition to momentum. Like when my life was going horrible, and I just couldn't figure it out, and I thought I was stuck. It was just in momentum of the thoughts that I was giving the most power to.
Right.
So if your life is a manifestation of the thoughts you give the most power to, so how can I prepare myself on a daily and nightly basis so that I have so much momentum that my light then starts having things bounce off?
Right.
It's like, so that's what I think about. So if you take a cup of water and then you pour and you just keep pouring, you keep pouring, you keep pouring, and it gets to the top, and then all of a sudden you pour another drop, it will start spill over into the next environment. That's how abundance works. That's how negativity works. That's how self-love works into another person. You can't give what you don't have. So if I want positivity consistently in my life, I better be practicing positivity. I can practice a flute and become a master. I can practice football and go to Super Bowl. I can practice to go run a marathon. So I better practice positivity if positivity isn't always in my life. And I came from a very negative environment. Well, guess what? That's a form of language. How else would you learn the language? Going to Starbucks, listening to Rosetta Stone for 30 minutes twice a week, or immersing yourself in the culture, actually going to France if you wanted to learn French, being amongst the people, because you'll grow 10 times faster through community than you will by yourself. Ain't no self-made. Anytime somebody say they're self-made, where'd you get your idea from? Where did that come from? What book did you read? There's always something. They're just not giving the people credit. Nobody's self-made.
So it's kind of like it takes a village to raise a child. It also takes an adult to raise an adult. It takes a village to raise an adult.
Well, 100%. And you should always have somebody that can put in your life, that can pull out of you what you can't pull out of yourself, because a fifth grader can't teach a fifth grader how to get out of fifth grade. So it's somebody that's thinking totally different. That's why in kindergarten, you got freaking poor, white, Hispanic, whatever. How did they all, at the end of the year, speak ABCs? Because they learned in a curated, cultured environment. So for me, I make sure that the people that I actually hang around are up to something. Goal-driven, positive people that hold me high. Don't hold me low. Don't see that I'm doing crap with my life and cheer me on there. Like, nah, that's not the kind of people I need in my life. I need people where we're building each other up like Legos. Now, I read constantly. I used to scroll the internet and look at mindless TV all the time, over and over and over, and all that, right? That's 4 or 5 hours of the day. So what would happen if I then, I've read this book, The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale, 392 times between the paperback and audiobook. Positivity, then it would be good to keep on domesticating myself with positive things, positive affirmations, listening to audiobooks. I stopped listening to music. I listen to a little bit of music, but if it's positive, because if you listen to a song over and over and over, you'll be singing the song for the next 3. But if I read this book over and over and over and over and over again, the momentum will be positive. So every day when I'm in my car, when I work out, when I wake up, before I go to bed, it's all practicing positivity, practicing peace, practicing self-love.
I mean, I have to stop you right there, because the people that are on don't know how long we've known each other. And we laughed about this the other day. There was a day way back when that I had called you and I was like, how are you doing? And this fool right here looked at me and said, Michelle, I can't handle your positivity today. So it's so funny to hear this. I mean, I'm super happy that you're positive, but when we knew each other so many years ago and we lived in LA and we were running clubs and we were doing this and doing that, I was the positive one, believe it or not. And now here you are, this ball of sunshine that is bringing so much light and so much love to the world. and I'm over here in New York, doom and gloom, Debbie dialing it up. And I just want to thank you so much for being an inspiration to so many. The book is available on, is it going to be available on audio? I feel like you would be an
Yeah, so it was
okay.
already supposed to be recorded.
Okay.
Think about it, the pandemic happened.
Just a
So I
minor
decided
setback.
yeah, just a minor setback. And I decided to put out a Spanish version because they was hitting me up in the thousands. They were like, blah, blah, in their language, the book in Spanish. So I also put out a Spanish version. English and Spanish are both on audio. It's #1 best-selling in 3 different categories. Grateful for that, but more grateful that this information is going out to the entire planet.
It sounds like some viewers want it in French, and I just saw they want it in Portuguese. So it looks like you have so many more things.
Yeah, so if they come in the thousands, it'll be by demand. But if it's like one person, because it's like a self-published. I don't have a publisher. I am my publisher.
Amazing.
So if it's like you get a whole bunch of people wanting it, that demand is going to get out. So I'm just grateful to put out information that will guide people to understanding who they are and have awareness. You can't change without awareness. You can try to change all this stuff, but you can't change without awareness.
Right.
You can't see the picture while you're in the frame. This will allow you to see the frame that you're currently in because you'll have a new awareness to look at how you've been showing up.
I just am so thrilled. So you can get the book on every platform. I know it's on Google. Someone said it's on Kindle. I saw it on Amazon.
It's on Amazon, Kindle. I would definitely go to Amazon because you can get the Kindle from Amazon. You can go to my website. It'll take you right to there anyways.
And then what's next for you? I know right now you're not on the road speaking, but where can we find you? How do we stay in touch with you? Are you available for one-on-ones virtually? How can we stay connected?
So so I had to not stop doing one-on-ones. It was the point to where I was getting paid a substantial amount of money for one-on-ones. And then I raised my prices and then more people came. And then I raised my prices and more people came. And then it got up to $10,000 an hour and more people came. And I was like, this is really cool because there was a lot of people in the tech industry that needed this head, mind, body, soul, heart work because all they do is work. So I do a lot of group coaching now. And I'm like guest speaking on a lot of summits and things all over line. But the biggest thing for me, babies. Me and my wife are in the process of creating babies. I am excited to bring little tiny humans into our ecosystem and giving them the space to discover who they are instead of you're going to be this and you're going to do that. Creating the best opportunity for these tiny humans to actually be the next phase of our generation so we can have some kind of hope.
Well, you know what? A pandemic and shelter in home place is really a good way for you to practice that baby making. I want to thank you again. Go ahead and follow Garrain.Jones on Instagram, correct?
Yeah.
Website, same name, correct?
Garrain Jones, yeah.
Yes. I remember Garrain T, but with no T at the end. That's how I remember. Again, I love you, brother. It's so amazing to see you thriving. Everybody continue to stay tuned. I will have this up on the YouTube page very, very shortly. Thank you so much, brother. I am super grateful and just so excited to see where you end up next. To all of you, thank you for tuning in to this Just the Tip Tuesday. We could have called it Transformational Tuesday because you have dropped some gems, brother. I'm your girl, Michelle Hope, your favorite unapologetic sexologist. Until next time, remember, from the womb to the tomb, sexuality is a part of your life. So let's learn about it together. Bye.
That was awesome.